Hans always does such a wonderful job, not just with food and his restaurant, also with his speaking. So I kind of hate coming behind him because I just feel like I can't measure up. I do want to mention that Hans and the Woodbridge are not only the Small Business of the Month, they are also the sponsor of this breakfast, and so we certainly appreciate everything that he's done for us today. Some time ago, this community embarked on a quest. It was a quest to build a courthouse. And during that process, several locations were considered, many designs were reviewed, and much debate took place. But a day came when architectural renderings were presented to the community. And a day came when equipment showed up at the job site. And a day came when the ribbon was cut at the grand opening of this beautiful new courthouse in Jasper, Georgia, Pickens County. And now this courthouse is helping to bring new business to Main Street. It's helping to bring jobs and investment. And this is taking place right now because of this courthouse. Some time ago, we embarked on a quest with Port Royal. It was a quest to build a world-class resort. And during that process, several locations were considered, many designs were reviewed, and much debate took place. But a day came when architectural renderings were presented to the community. And that day is today. And I'm optimistic that a day will come when equipment will show up at the job site. And a day will come when the ribbon is cut at the grand opening of the beautiful Port Royal Resort located in the city of Jasper, Pickens County, Georgia. And this resort will bring jobs, opportunity, and prosperity to our community. So to tell us more and to lead the Port Royal development team through their presentation, I'm very pleased to introduce Kenny Pickens.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having us today and for the warm hospitality that you have provided to our team over the last year as we have worked together to put this project on the map. It takes teams of people working behind the scenes to bring a project like this to reality, and we are so gratified by the response that we have had here, and we thank each and every one of you so much for that. We had an amazing dinner at the Woodbridge Inn last night. Thank you, Hans. It was just incredible. Amazing. So I have the pleasure this morning to introduce one of our team members that we are just so excited to have as a part of our project. And you'll meet our team in just a few minutes. Many of us have worked together for over 20 years in the water park resort industry. That's what we do. But we are so excited to have an international leader in the recording industry as part of our team. Mathew Knowles is not only an entrepreneur, a visionary, the founder and CEO of Music World Entertainment. He's also a professor who teaches entrepreneurism at colleges across the United States and Texas. He's a community leader who gives back to his community. He gets involved in the places that he lives and is so personable as well and humble about this incredible career that he has and all of the amazing artists that are represented by his firm. Gospel artists, country artists, and of course, international pop stars. We are pleased to have him, and join me in welcoming Mathew Knowles to the podium this morning to speak to us for a few minutes. Thank you.
really could have summed that up and just said Beyonce's daddy. You know, we've been here, this is my first trip, and I just want to say the love, the hospitality that this community has shown to all of us, it's really, really, really a magical thing. We've got yesterday an opportunity to meet with a lot of the government, civil leaders, the folks that give back. We had an opportunity to meet the mayor, who has promised us all of the water, what do you call those things? Mayor?
Water tank, but we need to change the subject.
He's promised to put our name, Port Royal, on all of them. But no, you know, I thought what we'd do is we'll introduce ourselves and we'll talk about the project that we're excited about, this water park and resort. But I thought I'd first just spend a few moments just to kind of tell you my story. I grew up in a small town just like this, just like Jasper, in Gaston, Alabama. Most folks don't know that. My parents were very, very poor. My mom, she made $3 a day as a colored housemaid. My dad made $25 a week. So imagine that. My dad made $25 a week, and my mom made $15 a week. And I never knew as a child that we were poor. My dad would take that truck that he worked as a truck driver for a produce company. And he would go and tear down houses and take the copper and metals out of them. He would pick up old cars and he would sell the batteries and the transmissions and a radiator. My mom on the weekend would make quilts with her best friends. And they taught me at an early age entrepreneurship. I didn't realize that then. And then I went on and I played basketball pretty good in high school and went to the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga and then transferred to Fisk University in Nashville and went on to Houston after college, worked at Xerox. But when I was a child, I can remember, because Gaston is the foothills of the Appalachians, I can remember just in my backyard that was pretty hilly, just looking up in the sky and dreaming. I dreamed a lot. I can only imagine in Orlando, somebody had a dream. And I can imagine Walt Disney came down there and folks probably said, "You want to do what in a swampland?" But it was a dream. And I never stopped dreaming. And I still today. My kids always were dreaming. And now they're the best at what they can be. And I'm proud of them as a father. But I just wanted to spend a few moments to talk to you about the 10 traits I found of successful people. Because I want to share something in addition to what you're going to hear about Port Royal. You know, I go all over the world, and I talk to a lot of people, I've met a lot of people. And the number one thing, the number one trait that I find of successful people, it starts with passion. Ask yourself, what is it that you are passionate about? Because that's what drives us. And I promise you, if you share and work towards your passion, if you work towards your passion, you will never work a day in your life. Because it'll be fun. We are all passionate about the project we're going to share with you today. What's the second thing I've found about successful people? They're visionaries. I can only tell you that I was working at Xerox, 6-figure income, and decided to go into the music industry. And it was very tough. It was a transition for me. I had to go back to school to get knowledge and information. I was at Kinko's every night doing these packages, sending them out. We almost lost our home because I wasn't focused anymore. All of my friends around me said, "You are crazy. You're going to take these little girls and you're going to do what? You don't know about the music industry. What, you know, these are kids." But I knew something. I knew the passion, and I had the vision. And those 4 little girls, which turned to 3, turned out to be the #1 female group in the history of music, called Destiny's Child. But that was a vision, similar to the vision that Damien today you get an opportunity to hear and talk with. That's the vision about the Port Royal Project, the resort. The third thing that I found out about successful people are the work ethics. Successful people show up. They work hard. And that's what happens when you have passion. Your work ethics. That's what I find. The other thing that I find about successful people, they build a team around them. It's not I, it's we. It's about building that team. And that's the thing that I find about successful people. I always laugh. I'm a C+ student, and I have a lot of A students working for me. The other thing that I found about successful people is they have this saying: failure to plan is planning to fail. It's important that we plan in our lives, that we have a vision and a plan. We're not just out there trying to make things happen without a plan. That will get you failure all the time. The other thing that I found about successful people, they're risk takers. They're willing to take risks in life, but they don't take crazy risks. They take important risks. And risk taking is a critical part of success. One of the things, and this one really hits home to me, is things I've found about successful people is learning from failure. And you're looking at somebody who's failed a lot. For all the successes, I've probably had 10 failures. But that's part of it. It's part of it when you're risk-taking. It's part of it sometimes in life, sometimes even in our personal lives. We make mistakes, but learn from those failures. And I often tell this story. I love basketball. Obviously, I play. I think the greatest player of the whole time, some great basketball players, but sometimes I've heard this story, and I just had a mental blank. The player that played Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, who played with Chicago, but in high school, the greatest basketball player ever, in the 10th grade, did not make the team. Can you imagine? Michael Jordan did not make his basketball team in the 10th grade. The coach told him he wasn't good enough. Now, he could have said, "Oh, poor me," give all of these reasons why he failed. He could have said 1,000 reasons. But instead, he worked harder. He dribbled that ball with his right hand to school. He dribbled it with his left the next day. His dad, who was important in his life, used to have to tell him, "Michael, it's time for you to come in." Michael Jordan learned from that failure. Embrace failure sometimes. Embrace it. What are some of the other things that I've learned about successful people? They all give back to the community. They give back to the community. That's what I'm seeing today. I see a community. We want to be part of your community. We don't want to be on the outside. We want to be in the inside of this community. And then one of the last things that I found about all the people that I've had the opportunity that are extremely successful, they have this thing called talk to do ratio. Talk to do ratio. They don't just have conversation. They make things happen. I kind of coined that talk to do ratio. Okay, we're going to do this, let's do it. Don't make promises and don't follow up and fulfill those promises. And I said last on that one that I actually have one more that's equals 10. And that's thinking outside the box. I find successful people do that. You know, imagine right now if there was a box right here, and if you got in the box, who would you invite in the box? Ask yourself, who would I want to be in that box with? And guess what? That person you invited, you probably are similar. Most of us are box-in thinkers. Because if you were walking around in a box, there's no mobility. You keep hitting walls and walls and walls. And if you put somebody else in the box, they're going to even make it harder for mobility. That's how most of us run our lives, as box-in thinkers. Hey, you can only do that. We can't put that in here. We're going to have all this. Oh, gee, how dare us think big. But if you step outside that box, you have all this mobility when you're outside of the box. Think outside of the box. Dare to be different. Had I not thought outside of the box, there would never be a Beyonce. There would never be a Destiny Child. You have to do that. And then I want to share before we go with the program, because I get really excited. I almost get into my ministry mode. And I always most want to say, guys, I got this. I'll do the whole presentation.
Go on.
I'm feeling it now. But I want to tell you a story. I travel a lot. I was in Los Angeles, and recently I was going down the escalator, and at the bottom of the escalator was a nun, and she had this jar from Mexico, this nun, and it just said, you know, give. And so I gave. I'm a part of a church that we started out with 7 members, and 17 years later we have 20,000 members. But we built it on homelessness and building back a community. She gave me a card, and I'm guilty. Some of you will give me a card, and I'm guilty that I will put that card in my pants, and then when I put on my jeans that I wear 3 days in a row, I'll put those cards in those jeans. And then when my wife says, you had those jeans on too long, then I'll put the cards back in the next pocket. And so I was at the car wash, and I was just going through my pockets. I had many cards. And something was on the back of that card, and I hadn't read the back of that card. And I read that card, and it said, pray not for a life free from trouble. Pray not for a life free from trouble. Bad stuff is going to happen sometimes. But pray for triumph over trouble. For what you and I call adversity, God calls opportunity. We have an opportunity today to share with you. We have a dream today to share with you. Thank you so much for coming out, and thank you for allowing us to share this opportunity and our dream. Penny?
Well, that's hard to follow. Thank you so much, Matt. We are here to talk to you today about our dream for this community, about a new kind of family destination resort in Jasper and Pickens County in these beautiful North Georgia mountains. And I want to introduce you to the team that is bringing Port Royal, Jamaica to Jasper, Georgia. Now, I did hear something interesting yesterday from the lady that is with the Arts and Cultural Attractions Council. Is she here this morning?
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Did you bring your copy of National Geographic magazine this morning?
I can run home and get it.
That's okay. So, what she told me last night is that 70 million years ago, Pickens County was a coastal community. So we're going to bring the water back. Maybe not in such a large way, but it'll be pretty big. And I think that's a great marketing hook. So we're going to get you together with Matt Knowles and figure out how we're going to spin that. But I want to introduce you first to, and I'll ask everyone to stand as I call their name just so they can put a face with the name. First off, Damian Barrett, our founder and leader of this cast of characters here, who is Jamaican, by the way, so there is a little story for how Port Royal came to be, but we are so pleased to have met Damian and to be working with him. Dale Van Voris, who is the CEO of our group, who has been in the amusement and entertainment industry for most of his life. He's a CPA by training, but has led several public companies and just a great leader. And Tim Smith, who is the project director for Port Royal. Lots of experience in building and construction and getting new ventures underground. Architectural Design Consultancy, Jason Sorsey, you'll hear more about each of our teams just quickly in a few minutes, but a leader in indoor water park resort design. Horizon Construction Group is our general construction partner. We're not able to be with us today, but I do want to tell you that Horizon has a wonderful reputation in our industry. They build indoor water park resorts around the country, but they also have a wonderful reputation for working with the local community and buying out as much of the trades and as much of the work as possible right here in Pickens County and the surrounding counties. Ross Consulting Engineers, Patrick Dallas is here, a civil engineering firm located right here in Woodstock, Georgia. Weber Group, Adam McIntyre is our creative director. I work with Adam at Weber Group. We're from Louisville, Kentucky, and we do design build in the branded and themed environments in museums, zoos, amusement parks, water parks. Aquatic Development Group also was not able to be with us here today. They are a 50-year-old pool and water park design builder. They have tons of experience, and they also provide the wave generation machines for wave pools. And we have been working with them at our firm since 1990. We have a long history of doing projects together. S&L Hospitality is a leader in the hospitality industry, not just indoor water parks, but I want to introduce Eric Lund, Craig Stark, and Andrew Stevenson from the firm. And you'll hear more from Eric in just a few minutes, but these are three of the men who founded the indoor water park industry beginning in 1989 in the Wisconsin Dells, and they really are the industry, so we're so pleased to have them. Of course, you've already heard from Matt Knowles, our Chief Entertainment Officer, and you can only imagine the types of entertainment that might come to fruition in this amazing resort. And lastly, we also have Acts of Creation. Those of you who were here last year when we came, met some of the folks from their firm. They specialize in bringing school programs to big projects like this. You know, there are something like 20 different departments within an indoor water park resort, so students can come out, they work with the school district to put Common Core principles together with learning opportunities, real hands-on learning opportunities for kids, informal learning opportunities, testing water quality, looking at cash control procedures. So it's a very collaborative process with the community. They also bring 21st century human resources practices to the team. And one of the things that Eric will tell you a little bit about later is some of the wonderful training programs that will be offered to the many folks from the community that will work in this resort. At this time, I'd like to ask that we all just briefly say just a brief bit about our firm. I've done a little bit of an introduction for you, but starting with ADCI.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. My name is Jason Jasper. As Penny introduced me, I'm one of the partners with Architectural Design Consulting. We've been in business since 1987 and had the fortunate circumstance to be located in Wisconsin Dells, Wisconsin area, which is known as the water park capital of the world. So our firm grew up with the water park industry, and as the water parks have spread out coast to coast, we've gone with them and had the pleasure to work alongside lots of folks, and we're very happy to be here in Jasper, Georgia. We think we've got a very special site.
Thank you. And Patrick Dallas is with Ross Consulting Engineers. I'll just ask Patrick to stand again. As I said, they are a local civil engineering firm, a 20-year history, a mid-sized firm located in Woodstock, Georgia, providing surveying, site consultation, and we were out at the project site yesterday, and they have done an amazing job providing an access road there and really understand the nuances of working with the community here. And so we're so pleased to have you. Adam McIntyre is the creative director of Weber Group.
Thank you, Penny.
Mine.
That's all right. Our company's been in business for over 30 years. We're in the design, build, specialty fabrication industry. And what that means is we get the fortunate position of building all of the things that you cannot find off the shelf. So whenever you go to amusement parks, museums, restaurants, water parks, and you wonder, who the heck built that thing? That's generally where we step in. So you'll see some of our work up here along with the design team, and we're glad to be here and happy to be a part of the team.
SNL Hospitality, Eric Lund.
Good morning, everybody. As Penny mentioned, I'm Eric Lund, my partner Craig Stark. We've been in business and partners together for the past 20 years. We were two of the co-founders of Great Wolf Resorts. Some of you may have been at some of those indoor water parks. There are 10 of those around the country that we took public in 2004. We're excited to be part of this project as the operator. There's some things that we'll talk about a little bit later today with some of the training that Penny mentioned and employment. It's very exciting to be here in Pickens County and in Jasper, and looking forward to being part of Port Royal.
Well, as Eric said, Craig Stark, and I'd just like to thank everybody for the hospitality. We're in the hospitality business, and the warm welcome that we've received from everybody has been overwhelming. And thank you, and we look forward to being here.
Hello.
I'd like to ask Eric to join me at the podium and tell us a little bit about the indoor water park resort industry and how it got started. You know, as I mentioned, our resort is really going to be a full resort. It's going to be something special, but our roots are in this indoor water park industry, and Eric will share with us a little bit about how he and his partners got started putting it together.
Thanks, Penny. Wisconsin Dells, Wisconsin is a small community, 3,500 people. It sits about 60 miles north of Madison, which is the capital of Wisconsin. It draws from communities like Milwaukee and Chicago. And there are over 4,000 hotel rooms, resort rooms under a roof with an indoor water park in the Wisconsin Dells. That's the water park capital of the world. That's where you're going to find large resorts like Great Wolf, Kalahari, Wilderness. And it started back in 1989. There was a hotel property that really had business from Memorial Day to Labor Day. And they really wanted to grow their business and see that vision as Matthew talked about. So what they did is they took their indoor pool and they added a couple of small slides indoors. And it started to increase their business in the spring and also into the fall and over the winter. And it became more of a destination. And then the Black Wolf Lodge in June of 1997 came, and that's really when it was put on a map. And we came in and we bought that property and we wanted to grow that brand and take that and build that around the country. We felt there were some great markets and destinations that we could build that and have families come and have the experience of what we saw happening in Wisconsin Dells. And so we did that, and we opened our first one in Sandusky, Ohio in March of 2001. And then from there we went on and built 10 others, including one in Canada on the Niagara Falls. The indoor water park business is a drive-to destination. What we're going to build here at Port Royal, what you'll hear about today in the next 20 to 25 minutes, is more than just an indoor water park. It's a complete resort destination. It's something like we've never done before, and it's going to have entertainment, it's going to have a number of components that are new and unique, and it will put Pickens County, Jasper on the map, and we will be drawing people from about a 240-mile radius. The millions and tens of millions of dollars that it will bring in from outside of the state, Dale will talk about in a little bit as well. But this is a drive-to destination. It's a great place to go and spend quality family time. If you want to be a hero as a mom or dad, you bring your kids to an indoor water park, and it's the best thing that you can ever do. It's the best family time because phones don't work too well when you're in the water. And so people get a break away from their iPhones, their mobile devices. And this is a drive-to destination. As I mentioned, we're from 240 miles. People come, families come, grandparents. Family Reunion magazine writes it as the best family reunion destination that you can possibly go to. 30% of the U.S. travel by car to get to these types of getaway destinations, 2, 3, 4 days. And with the convention center that we're going to have to be able to do groups of up to 1,500 people, the entertainment venues that you'll hear about today, it's amazing. It's really going to be a world-class resort. We're happy to be here. We're happy to be the operator. It takes a special team of people to put a development like this together. Things happen for a reason. A year ago we were here, we met with a number of you, and we had a site that we felt that could work, but we have a site now that's unbelievable and is going to do great with all of the amenities and the hiking trails and the biking, the zip lines, the ropes courses, and everything that this resort will have to offer. So we're happy to be here. We thank you for your hospitality. Had a wonderful dinner last night. Hans, thank you very much to you and your staff. Great job. And at this time, I'd like to turn it back over to Penny. Thank you.
Thanks, Eric. We'd like to spend a few minutes painting the picture of Port Royal for you. Now, some people have asked me this trip, why Port Royal? And, you know, when we got started with Damien, this project over a year ago, we started talking about Jamaica, and he asked me, have you been to Jamaica? Have you been to the Caribbean? I said, yes, it's beautiful, it's gorgeous, lush. And he said, you know, there was a city there. Port Royal was a bustling port town. Influences from all over the world, Spanish colonialism, travelers, pirates, musicians, all different kinds of food. And it was known actually as a little hedonistic. Of course, things were pretty buttoned up in 1692, so we might be a little freer as a society now. But the interesting thing about Port Royal is that it was destroyed by a hurricane and put underwater. But the size and the shape of Port Royal and the Blue Mountains of Jamaica that are all around it are very similar to these North Georgia mountains. You get those beautiful blue vistas off in the distance, lush mountain trails. And so Port Royal really was born in the story of this influence of different cultures and the influx of different people combined with pirates, which is always a #1 theme for kids, ages 2 to 12. Lots of things started to intersect, and of course, as Eric said, everything today is about multi-generational travel. You know, grandma is in many cases, grandma and grandpa, paying for the vacation, coming along. want a comfortable place to sit, 84 degrees inside all the time at the water park. You know, if it rains, that's fine. You can just watch it overhead through the foil tech roof and above, the clear roof above. But it's just a wonderful time for families to be together, to hear good music, to eat wonderful food, and to experience this hospitality, which you are so known for in the region. And that's certainly what we intend to deliver here. So I'm going to ask Jason Sorsey with ADCI to come up and take us through Port Royal.
Push that button.
You better show us where the pointer is. I goofed on the pointer. She'll bring it back for us, but. Good.
Well, that's an auspicious beginning.
His architecture work is much better.
The pointer is the round one in the middle. There you go. Forward and back.
Casually elegant.
And we'll get ourselves in the right spot.
Technical difficulties, please stand by. Here we go.
Well, good morning, everybody, again. When it comes to designing and master planning these resort projects, the resorts are really a creature of the site, and the design really has to respect what we find in the natural forms on the land that we're planning. So we're very, very excited about what we've found here on 515. The elevation above the highway, the project's going to be visible as you come north or south on 515. However, it's going to be far enough into the site that as you drive up to the site, and you're really going to have a resort experience. So you'll see we've got a rather long road, that entry road that we're planning as we come into the site. So when you turn off, you're going to be mentally leaving Jasper, Georgia, and really entering Port Royal, Jamaica. So we're very excited about the opportunities that we see here with this site. So here we have some of the imagery that we've developed for the project, and as we drive up our main entry, we're actually going to crest over a hill, and as you hit the top of your hill, we're going to have our front door right in front of you, and very welcoming governor's house type concept. So as you walk into the lobby, the amenities and the finishes are going to be more sophisticated in nature and not quite so caricature or childish. So it's going to be the type of atmosphere that everybody's going to be comfortable in, whether you're a young child or a parent or grandparent. So we're really trying to focus on providing a atmosphere that everybody's very comfortable with. As you get further into the lobby and look outside, this is the view that's going to be greeting you. You see we've got a port concept because it is Port Royal. So we've got this pier and boardwalk that lines a water feature, and within the site here, we've got an entertainment pavilion here, and we plan on having various shows and entertainment out of this pavilion. Folks can be gathering on the boardwalk or perhaps watching from their room the live shows. Thank you. Back behind the entertainment Pavilion, we have the indoor water park and the family entertainment center. And for those of you who aren't familiar with the family entertainment center, Eric was talking a little bit about it, but we'll have, it goes well beyond arcade games, into ropes courses and mini golf, laser tag, laser maze, all kinds of activities for folks to do inside the family entertainment center. Inside, right behind the family entertainment center, we were going to have an indoor water park, and just off to the left, we'll have an outdoor water park. And as you can just make out there on the right, we've got an interactive pirate ship that will be, we're going to have a lot of fun. Adam's going to have a lot of fun with.
Yes, we will.
So as we get into the indoor water park, the atmosphere in there is going to be, we're really looking for a lush tropical atmosphere. Penny had mentioned Texlon roofing system, and that's a clear roofing system. It allows the sunlight in, allows the UV light in, so you can grow plants, you can get a tan, so you don't have to wear your sunscreen while you're in there. But it makes for a really fantastic atmosphere. Of course, the main attraction in the water park are all the rides, slides, activity pools, flow riders that you can surf on, and wave pools that you can float on, and lazy rivers that you can float on inner tubes. So lots of activities, lots of fun, lots of family entertainment. We do have several other amenities that are planned in the project. We have a resort spa that will be, frequented by both the patrons as well as we hope the local community. We'll have over 12,000 square foot of food and beverage. Again, I'm hoping that that's patrons and the local community coming out for that. Over 8,000 square foot of retail and 400 rooms, as well as a 25,000 square foot convention center. So we'll be really a full service resort.
Thank you so much, Jason. And I'd like to ask Matt Knowles to come back up for just a minute and paint a picture for us of some of the amazing entertainment offerings that will be here at Port Royal.
So it's really about the experience, and that's what we want to build, is the experience. And so it's the programming during the day. We'll have 3 times a day performances and activities. We've talked about the aspects. We have a 75,000 square foot indoor water park, 2 acres outdoor, 400 rooms with all of the amenities, a convention center that also allows the community to program and have parties and events there, and that's a lot for the community. We certainly will bring in corporate activity and solicit corporations to come and have their events, but we want that convention center to be used by this community. The other thing that we're looking at is having recording studios for the youth, that they can come in, record songs, and have their videos and share that experience. We live in a social media world right now today, and so we're creating opportunities for social media for our young people to write down the slides and actually experience that on social media. We're also looking to have, we talked about bicycle trails, walking trails, horseback riding, zip lining, all of those other experiences, ropes. And then lastly, we're looking at a 16,000 capacity amphitheater. So we can have a destination for major artists to come into the community, and to also bring in the activity of a Garth Brooks or some of your favorite performers. Now you can see them right here at home. We're really excited about that experience. We want it to be a total, complete experience. That's what would separate us. And I hope you also see, this is a Class A team that we have sitting here. Can you give them a round of applause?
Thank you, Matt. Next, I'd like to invite up Dale Van Boris, our CEO, to tell us a little bit about the economic impact that this facility will have on the county, the region, on the city of Jasper, and the magnitude of scale economic impacts that it will bring over a long period of time.
Good morning. Penny didn't mention that my first job was at 14 years old in an amusement park in Canton, Ohio. And I made cotton candy and French waffles all summer at 55 cents an hour. But I earned enough money to buy my first shotgun, so thanks a lot. We are talking about magnitude of scale impact. And the project's going to cost approximately $145 million. $110 million will be spent on the construction end alone. About 25% of that will be purchased in services from Pickens County and Jasper. The other 75% is going to come from around the world. And we don't know where exactly we're going to buy some of this stuff or develop it, but the operators and the architects have pretty good ideas. The construction budget will generate, during construction only, it's a one-time deal, about 1,250 jobs. And so this place is going to be a boom town of people. That may or may not work here, may not live here, but they're going to have one thing that's going to be happening is people who have qualifications in Pickens County will get first choice at all our jobs. And if we have to train them, we'll have to train them. SNL, the operating company has a training program because everybody has to have maybe it's not quite as good as Disney, but it's going to be right up there with them. And treating the customer right is all about making these resorts work. The 10-year impact on the community, we will create approximately 500 jobs at the resort itself. We will have an output of $653 million over that 10 years. There's indirect impacts. And when you build one of these resorts, when you start drawing customers, they want to feed off of it. Whether it's a gas station, whether it's a food thing, whatever the business is that they think they can make money, they're going to come to Jasper looking for that opportunity. They're going to provide another 284 jobs to the community. The overall impact is $920 million over a 10-year period. So it's not a small operation. We're going to be paying taxes. 60% of those taxes go to the state of Georgia, 40% stay in Pickens County. Over the 10 years, we will be paying close to $109 million in taxes of various types, from sales taxes to bed taxes to income taxes. The stuff that goes to Georgia, some of that will come back to the community as part of their distribution. Not sure how much, but that's what they tell me. There's other taxes also, cigarette taxes, alcohol taxes, licenses, permit fees, etc. And we estimate the bill about $1.4 million a year, and over a 10-year period, you're looking at close to $14 million. Where are we going to get the customers to come to this resort? 150,000 of these customers we estimate will come from adjoining states. It's money bound. It's not necessarily coming to Georgia. A lot of them, we're going to try and tackle some of the Canadians that come through the Georgia on their way to Florida. And the same is true with people from the Ohio Valley, from other parts of New York, other parts of the country, Texas. People come from Florida from Texas. They have to stop someplace, and we'll see if we can't lasso some of them. Their estimated spending over the 10-year period, or would be about between $9 and $15 million. Our non-resort spending in the first year, we anticipate someplace around $4 million. And that is people coming in to use the resort. They're going to go out, they're going to try different restaurants that won't be had at the resort, or they're going to have other things they want to spend money on that we do not offer. It's like gasoline. But anyway, that's the impact. This time, if there's anybody that would have to ask questions, we would be happy to entertain those thoughts. Well, that's one answer.
Dale, before we do that, I want to ask, how many folks in here, could you raise your hand if you own a business? Could you raise your hand? Thank you. That non-resort spending, look at that number. That means if you own a business, there's no way your business should not double. And I just want to just drive that home. There's no way that your business should not at least double. That's the impact we're speaking of. Sorry.
No problem.
Any question?
Sure.
I think I know where it's going to be, but can you describe to us where the project will be located?
Yes, can we have the microphone down there? Okay. Jason, tell us about off 515. I'll bring the slide back up.
Well, to answer your question, it's going to be on 515. On the west side of the road, and I believe it's just before you hit the church,
Church and Hidden Creek.
Right in between.
Right, so it's
Antioch Church.
Antioch Road, yeah.
Antioch Church Road. Thank you very much.
Antioch and Church Road. Antioch Church Road.
Opposite side of the road, there's
That's Antioch Church. Access.
Yes. I have been out there. Yes. Okay, do we need to bring the,
If you can't talk loud, I'll read it out. Stop.
right. Okay, yes, sir, and the time.
Could you tell us the timeline?
The timeline. Damien, would you like me to answer that question, or would you like to answer it? Pass the microphone down to Damien.
I'll just answer. We want to start breaking ground for October, just so your Marble Fest going on. So we're pushing real hard. So we're going to need your support, helping us getting our permits ready, get our mayor and our council together to get us those permits to get us through. And we're looking to open for 2016 Thanksgiving. And if it's earlier, it's even better for all of us.
Yes, sir, in black shirt.
You mentioned trying to get people off of 75, which is
Yes.
very smart. But to get to 75 or 75 to 575, there's no easy way. Is there any thoughts of any roads being built to get people over there?
It's not necessarily just the road being built, it's signage on the highway and stuff like that, which we'll definitely need, to partner with the DOT and Georgia DOT, and I help with our mayor as well to help push that through, and our local officials to help get signage to send in that direction. Because the thing about Canada and Florida is you got like almost 6 million people who goes down from Canada to Florida every year. And that market was something that was not in our study, in our numbers, in our data that we put up there. But that would also show a greater impact to Jasper, Georgia. So we really need to get probably about even 10% of that market coming down is going to be a very big impact for Jasper. So
coming south, 575 I-75 to 575, turning into 515 with an entrance right off of 515.
Correct.
And coming north, Jason, help me out with the road name. Coming north, it would be Mayor off of 136.
Actually, you can't get to 75 from Jasper, from Pickens County. If you travel, if this were to happen, it will only be after there's an impact with the Georgia DOT respond. There will be traffic jams. Everyone will start calling the governor's office and the DOT, and then the roads will be wide. They won't do it in anticipation. So Only when there's a demand will there be improvements by the Georgia State road system. So that's the best way to answer that question. Yes, you're going to have a problem, then it'll have to be addressed.
Good.
They want to address it first.
Thank you.
Yes, sir, right here in the center.
Are you going to be doing any survey archaeology on it, emergency survey archaeology?
The question is, are we doing any survey archaeology on the site? Jason?
Yeah, that's going to be required by the state, I believe, so we'll have to go ahead and do the historical cultural survey.
Can you hear Jason in the back without the microphone? Okay. Yes, sir, a follow-up?
Is that generally 5 to 7% of the project?
This is not working.
Could you repeat the question? I couldn't hear you, I'm sorry.
Is that generally 5 to 7% of the project amount?
The cost of the archaeological survey?
Correct.
5 to 7% of the project amount? I don't think so. That sounds high, too. The question is the approximate cost of the architectural site survey? Archaeological site survey? 10 or $15,000, according to Patrick Dallas from Ross. Yes, and right here? Thank you, Matt.
What is the projected average cost of a hotel room per night?
Eric Lund, would you know? Eric Lund from our management company, SNL Hospitality.
There's a variation of rates based on demand. Obviously, there's about 180 days a year that kids are out of school, and those are very high demand times. Spring break, because we're dealing with multiple states, we're dealing with private and public schools, you get generally about a 6-week window of kids that are off of school. And so during those times, that's our high demand time, and the rates are going to be higher. But in May and in September, and when kids go back to school, those are the best times for a lot of the local people in the community to come out and for really reasonably priced. Now, we also have a convention center, and to compete with businesses that are going to go to Atlanta or other parts of Georgia or other states, we have to be competitive with our rates from a meeting standpoint, or else that meeting planner won't want to book with us. So when we do conventions and groups, and your business comes in and wants to have a small group and have people coming in that will stay with us, we'll be competitively priced. But I would say the range of price is probably from the low hundreds to, up over $200 or $300 a night.
With water park admission.
And water park admission is included in the price of the room. Keep that in mind. Yes, in the back.
Yes. Have you started your regional impact study that's required? And if not, when do you plan to start the regional impact study? And what timeline do you plan to present that to the community?
We have done an independent economic impact study on the region, has been done by the firm Hotel and Leisure Advisors out of Cleveland, Ohio. Is that the study to which you're referring?
No, the state of Georgia regional impact study. Due to the size of the project, right. I'm pretty sure the state of Georgia requires a regional impact study to show the surrounding counties the impact it would be on their traffic, waterways, and so forth. So when do you plan to start the state regional impact study?
Oh, we're going through the process now with that right now. We're going through that process right now. We're probably about 60%, 70% completing the application. So we're looking to probably file at least in another month or a month and a half too. And then that start the ball rolling from that end.
The pre-application for that's been completed, is that right?
Another one with the regional impact.
Another one with regional impact. Is that clear, Jerry? Great. Does that answer the question?
Yes, but you will have a public meeting to present.
Oh, yes. Oh, definitely. Yes. So we definitely need your support to come out and.
Yes.
No.
Yeah. Just real quick, the DRI process is spelled out, it's clear, it will be followed. They're in the process of working on their detailed plans. As soon as those are complete, then we will move forward with the DRI process. and it will be put forth to the public, and people will have the opportunity to participate in that as they would with any other project that is a development of regional impact. So they are familiar with that process. We will be assisting them with that, and there will be plenty of opportunity for the public to become involved. So, thank you.
Lengthy applications. Yeah.
We have one over here.
Well, I know we're all very glad that you guys are here, but it's pretty interesting to me is how you chose Pickens County and Jasper.
I think Damien better answer that question.
I know, Jane, you want to stand for a second?
Where is she?
There she
Where is Jane?
That nice
Jane there
lady.
talking about realtor.
There she goes.
For us that literally, talked to my partner, she was like, Pickens County is a great, county, and Jasper is, it's one of those places you got to make the investment. Is the rural area, the horse farm. We own a property here now, probably 5 years. We own on 136. We bought that with intent that we're going to develop it. We actually got the zone commercial to help us with that as well. That was where the original Fort Royal site was going to be. And our mayor here is, you guys are very, very lucky to have Mayor Weaver here. I'm telling you, he's one of the, understand what needs to be done, and we definitely got to thank Jerry again. Jerry, you are really, the feather in the cap of them really working to put this together and bringing this here. So, little disheartened the last time when we were here because we already bought and invested in that site, did everything that we done, did our site work, we started getting ready to say, okay, we're there. But, I said, I'm going to test Jerry's judgment on this one, and I spoke to my board, and I said, let's give him a chance to redeem himself, that we said. And he certainly showed up, and that's why, Jasper really is that inviting city. And I mean, all of you guys really make this possible for us to make this investment. I mean, it's really $140 million. And we could have placed anywhere in the country, but we definitely telling you the welcome, the support the people here, make us know that the hills as well too, to bring that Jamaica feel to it. That Blue Mountain, and as I stand on that property and look at the backdrop and see that Blue Mountain is remind me really of Jamaica. And really, the palm trees that you guys see, they're not real in the sense of we're going to grow palm trees here, but Adam and Penny is going to make sure when you guys touch them and feel them, they're just like the real palm trees down there. And I might have little coconut trees in there too, so we'll work on that. All right?
But the views are breathtaking. It's
Yes, Matt.
incredibly beautiful.
My question to you guys is, when you start opening up job opportunities for the local citizens of Pickens County, how are you going to reach out to the workforce here in Pickens? And are you going to use local organizations to help you hire the people that you need to get this project off the ground and keep it continuing?
Thanks. Eric will answer that question. I'll ask him to come up to the mic to make sure he can hear you. 1,200 employees nationwide SNL has in the hospitality industry, so they'll...
That's an excellent question. I'm glad you asked that. We absolutely are going to need everyone's support in this room, this facility. When we do a project of this magnitude, it draws a lot of people to come and apply for those jobs. What we've seen in the past is we will run a 4-day job fair that we will put ads in the newspaper, we will promote it online, we will have it on flyers in your businesses, letting people know during the week, at night, on the weekends, so that we cover all bases. So if someone works weekends or night shifts, they can still come in to interview and apply for jobs. Generally speaking, we will get 4,000 to 6,000 people to come and apply for jobs where we might hire 15 to 20% of that workforce. So we're able to hire the best of the best. We will have different levels of positions all the way from front office, all the way through aquatics, lifeguards, management positions, supervisory positions. We will need to hire a general manager, we'll need to hire an aquatics director. Those two will probably be hired the day we break ground, so that way when the water park's being built, they know where every pipe is laid and they know everything about the water park. The general managers, the eyes and ears on the ground. These are positions that are in housekeeping, food and beverage, retail, arcade, and entertainment as well. So there's a wide variety of jobs, and I can speak, it was mentioned before, all of you that own businesses, Chamber of Commerce, I mean, you guys are the community, you're the makeup of Jasper, and I can speak from experience with the other resorts that we have built. People do come, and you know, the saying is, build it, they will come, and it happens. And people will come to Jasper and they will spend a lot of money at your business. This isn't just about Port Royal, this is about the community and all of you in the community that support each other. As Hans said, people need to come and spend money at your businesses, and people will. And we have seen people that have closed their business and moved closer to the developments that we have done because they see the wristbands on the families coming into their business. When you come into the water park, it was noted that the wristbands, you'll get 4 wristbands with every room that you rent. So if the room is $139, there is a perceived value. If it's $20 a day, that's $80. So really you might only be paying $50 or $60, so to speak, for that room. And those wristbands are good for the day you check in and then the day you check out. So really it's a 2-day pass. And people will wear those wristbands, the kids will wear that, and they'll go to school. We've had some kids send us notes that for a year they won't take that wristband off. And so people get excited about it, they travel, they'll hear about Port Royal. When we do concerts and Beyonce is there for the grand opening,
Well, you know, it's interesting you said that, because, what's your name, sir? Charlie said, I can't believe you're not having Beyonce come.
So it's really an unbelievable experience, but absolutely we're going to need your help helping with recruiting. We met a lot of people yesterday with the community college as far as staffing agencies. We're going to need a lot of help. We have a lot of people to employ, and it takes a community to put that together. It doesn't just take 12 people sitting up here to do that.
We have, unfortunately, time for 2 more questions. The young lady here, the gentleman far with his hands up, and those will be our last 2 questions.
Excuse me, do you have to stay at the hotel in order to use the water park?
Do you have day passes at the water park is the question?
Absolutely, we will have day passes. We will have a special rate for those that live in Jasper, also those that live in Pickens County. There are community days that we do. We do fundraising events for charities where we might have a donation made, and we'll work with a local radio station to do a promotion. And people will get free, if you will, water park passes to come in during the months where we aren't as busy. And it's a donation, and then that's given to a local charity. So we do a lot of community days and things like that to involve the community, because if you don't have the community behind you, then what do you have, right? So that's what it's all about.
So in reference to jobs, I'd like to know if you can outline how many jobs will be created throughout the life of the project, and how many jobs you can commit to today if you're able to Pickens County.
As far as jobs at the resort, we'll have roughly 700 to 800 people that we'll need to employ, of which 400 roughly are full-time, and then we'll have a number of part-time positions. We probably will have 150 to 170 lifeguards, for example. The lifeguards, safety and security is paramount. You can't compromise safety, obviously. We've never had any major incidents at any of our water parks, and we're going to continue with that. And we work with a group out of Texas called Ellison Associates, and they help us with all of our certification and training for the lifeguards. It's a higher certification than American Red Cross. We have an EMT on it at all hours that the park is open, and every day our lifeguards go through training. So if they would start at 9, they might come in at 7:30 in the morning, and they spend an hour training. And 4 times a year, Ellis will come unannounced to our facility, and they will give us a pass or fail score. And if our lifeguards have their legs crossed, or they're not doing what they need to be doing in the position that they're in, we will fail. And we've never had a failing score. And so we're going to continue that reputation, and that's some of the training that our lifeguards go through. We also have front of the house, we'll have a ambassador of fun. One of the titles of our employees is ambassador of fun. And all they do is come up with creative ways to have activities for the families so that when they're staying with us, there are things to do other than just go to the water park. When you check in, it's like a land cruise. If anyone has taken a cruise, every morning when you get up, under your door or outside your door, there's an itinerary of all the activities that take place on that cruise ship. We do something very similar. We give our guests, when they check in, 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 day, their itinerary of all the activities that take place at the facility. Whether you participate in them or not, that's up to you. But they're available, there are arts, there's crafts, there's a lot of things that we can do on this 175-acre site to engage the families, and so that's very important to us. It's not just about the water park or coming and having something to eat or going to the spa. It's about engaging the family together.
Last question, thank you.
Good morning. Cordell Brownell, Paul Peterson with 360 Recycling. This build-up project be a lead project, and has there been any strategic plan to make sure the material off this job site doesn't go to a landfill?
Jason, want to take that?
Sure.
You want to come up here? Sure. And we will be available afterwards for questions. I know we need to close out the program after this, but we will all be hanging around up here. So if you didn't get your question answered, please do come up. So the question was about sustainability and lead initiatives.
Sustainability is very important in our industry, in our business. We definitely take a lot of pains and efforts because, as you can imagine, a resort like this consumes a lot of resources. So we do design in a lot of green systems. We design, for instance, heat recovery in the water, so we're harvesting the heat that otherwise leaves. We design in water-saving measures in our pumping and filtration systems. Variable frequency drives, so lower the cost of electricity. Our Texlon roof allows the daylight to come in, so generally speaking, we don't have any lights on during the day. So we do address a lot of sustainability. Operationally, certainly there will be efforts with recycling and recycling the laundry water, and again harvesting energy out of that. So we do take a lot of effort along those lines. We will not necessarily be seeking a LEED certification for the site. That is a process that just takes a lot of administrative work. That doesn't necessarily make the project any more earth-friendly, if you will. So usually our approach has been to adopt and execute as much as possible without necessarily incurring the administrative costs of LEED. Yeah, it's certainly, as Tim has reminded me, purchasing locally as much as possible. The Horizon wasn't here today. They were kind of introduced as a general contractor, but that's not what they are. They're a construction manager, and they're a construction manager who self-performs nothing. So every division of work in the construction process goes to bid and will be available for bidding by the local firm. So there won't be any, anything shut out.
Thank you.
Well, I want to thank you all for being here, and I am so excited on behalf of the Chamber of Commerce for having you here and welcoming you to the community. I will say that I thought we had so cool last night
when I was sitting by Mr. Knowles at dinner, and he was talking about the price of putting on a Beyonce concert, and I looked at him and said, "Oh, you know Beyonce?" And he looked at me like, I said, "You really know Beyonce?" And I know he's like, "Is this girl serious?" I'm just kidding. But I was trying to act all cool, like, you know, I was trying to be cool, but I never thought, this girl is crazy. They got out there as quick as they could at dinner last night, and I thought, why did I get stuck by the blonde? We are super excited to have you in our community, and I do hope that you've enjoyed your stay here in Pickens County, and look forward to having you back in the very near future, and having you full-time in 2 years. And the thought of having a ribbon cutting the week of Marble Festival makes my knees shake. But we will do it, and we will gladly host a groundbreaking the week of Marble Festival. Thank you all for being here. We have lots of wonderful door prizes given by our chamber members, so stick around.